Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome in to the NCAA Hoops Hour. I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope you're ready for a big Saturday in college hoops. It's March 2nd, and we are, again, one day closer to the tournament. Make sure you're supporting all the shows here as I get you into conference tournaments. This is your headquarters for college basketball, sports betting info, picks, games, all sorts of stuff. Make sure you're hitting the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video. Welcome in to everyone out there listening as always. I do appreciate it. We'll get to all sorts of games today. We'll take some questions a little bit later. We'll try to get you ready for a big day. This is the best show on the internet if you want college basketball information. And yes, I am tooting my own horn. Let's obviously say hello to some people. We'll get into the show here. Make sure you support our sponsor, MyBookie. MyBookie, one of the great books out there right now as far as withdrawals, getting your money out quickly. And frankly, look, pretty good lines. I've been betting with MyBookie for about a month now, and I've been really happy with it. Service is really easy. It's easy to get your money on there. They give you a cool deposit bonus if you're into that. And, look, they have also contests and reload bonuses if you go broke and need to re-up. They have all sorts of stuff. You want to bet first half added games, they have it. They got conference tournament futures they'll be posting. Make sure you're checking out mybookie.ag. When you open your account, use promo code BMOC. We'll get you a nice little deposit bonus on the money you put on there. Again, make sure you're supporting the sponsor. That's how shows stay afloat. That's how shows stay in business. If you like this show, go support the sponsor. MyBookie, use promo code BMOC. You want to bet UFC 235 tonight? They got you covered. You want to bet Champions League? They got you covered. And they have a cool March Madness contest. So make sure you check it out. MyBookie, promo code BMOC. Let's welcome in all the people out there. Guys, do me a favor. And this is really all I ask of you today. Retweet this show on Twitter. Let people know you like it. Let people know you enjoy it. That's how we grow this show. That's how we grow it for people that maybe don't know it's on. We get people in here that maybe don't see it. Not that I don't love all of you, but the key to any show is growth, as they say. So make sure you're doing that as well. What up, Michael, Ron, B Smooth, Bo Dunn, Robbie, Michael, Chiarchi, I Eat the Bones, Tony. Tony says we're one step closer to conference tournaments. Yeah, Monday will be the start of conference tournaments. And tomorrow, you want to look out for my Atlantic Sun conference preview. Andy from the Deep Dive podcast will join me. Him and I will go over the Atlantic Sun, all sorts of other people in here. Thanks for joining us. Let's get into the show. We'll start out with some early games here. Where do we want to start here? Let's go to this one. Let's go to Kansas, Oklahoma State. A big game out in the Big 12. Obviously, we know what Oklahoma State did the other night. What did they have? I think they had something crazy, like 17 threes or something. Just a wild night for the Cowboys. They really shocked themselves and stayed in that game, even in a losing effort. I mean, you put up 84 points or 80 points against Oklahoma or Texas Tech. That's pretty impressive. 17 for 32 from three. That's amazing. 53% against one of the best three-point defenses in the country. Lindsey Waters, 7 for 10. Thomas Dzagwa, 6 for 9. Curtis Jones, 3 for 7. I mean, they were just firing out of the gym. You look at Dzagwa and Waters, 13 threes between the two of them. Listen, I've often said, when you get a hot team, just staying in the gym with them is important. The fact that Texas Tech was able to win the game was even more impressive. People will knock on Texas Tech, didn't blow anybody out there, whatever. But look, you beat a team that made 17 threes. I mean, that's pretty impressive. You should lose to that team. Virginia, they lost to a team that did shit like that in the tournament. So finding a way to win, I think, was important for Tech. But Oklahoma State coming in, are obviously off that game, and they got a Kansas team coming in here that dominated them in the first game. You look at that first game they played; that was the first real game without Garrett and LeGerald Vick for Kansas, and Kansas had no trouble with it. It was close early, but they kind of pushed ahead and were able to seize momentum and really kind of take care of business and win going away. They didn't end up covering that game as well. I think Oklahoma State was getting 11 in that game, lost by 12. So it was a tough beat. I remember watching the game. But, I look at this game. I see a total at 139. And I find that to be low. I was surprised this total was listed so low. I mean, like I said, in the first game, they scored 152. Oklahoma State didn't really shoot the ball well. I mean, they only made 9 threes out of 20, which I guess for them is not good. I mean, they're usually a team that puts up a ton of threes, and they're marksmen. They're very good with it. This is a Kansas team not particularly good against the three, 8th in conference against the three-point shot. I mean, they scored 156 points in the first game. Now you're listing a total at 139 and a half, 139. I think Oklahoma State can get to 70 here. As we know at Kansas, their goal kind of has been, they're just kind of trying to find ways to get the job done here of late. And, I look at their offense. I mean, I don't think they're going to have any trouble against this Oklahoma State defense. Oklahoma State didn't really defend at a high level, 10th in efficiency in the Big 12. Really have not done well defensively all season. They've had issues defending the three. I mean, I just don't really understand this one total early on here. You also look at that first game. Kansas put up 84 points. Dedrick Lawson was a complete load. No one could stop Dedrick Lawson. Dotson was terrific. Grimes didn't even play well, and they still scored 84. So I kind of like the over in this game as we started out here with our previews. 139 seems a bit low. I think this is like an 81 kind of 69 type of game, something like that. I kind of like the over here. A lot of people checking in. Hopefully you all are enjoying your morning. We'll get to as many games as we can. Thank you, Be Smooth. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Mike Butler. Jake says, let's get 500 viewers. Yeah, let's do it. We're already halfway there. So make sure you're sharing the show and retweeting it and doing your part. Jalen Murray. Yo. Benny the Butcher is dope. Yes, in my opinion, he's the best rapper in the game right now. He is a guy that has rectified music, and he's bringing rap back, the real hip-hop, not this bullshit that you have nowadays, these young kids. Yeah, he's the king. If you do one thing today, make sure you go check out Benny the Butcher, best rapper in the business. Shout out Griselda Records. Shout out the Black Soprano family. Benny the Butcher, best in the business. What did the donation on the 27th end at? I think we had like 440 people at one point. So we threw out $220 to the Pennsylvania Innocence Project, which I was very happy with. We'll do that every 27th. Let's keep it going here. LSU, Alabama. Okay, this one's interesting, right? We've talked about LSU on this show. They're playing really well, really good basketball team. I think a team that could be a closet, secretive Final Four team. But I think there's more issues at LSU than meet the eye. And I've talked about it. You don't sit out 2 games because you're sick. There's something going on there. And I did some digging. I got connected with someone that is down in that area. And according to him, there was a fight or argument of some sort between Will Wade and Waters' father. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what there's going on down there. But if you look this up, there is some sort of connection. There was a reported incident between Will Wade and Waters of some kind, and that's what it was. You wonder, have they buried the hatchet, and has this been fixed, and is he going to be effective? Look, he's a great player. He killed Alabama the first time they played. I think he had 19, 7, and 5 or something. He was really integral, and he's really integral to the success of to LSU. And this is a tough game. Going down to Alabama is tough. This is a good home court advantage. Alabama really needs this game. I mean, Alabama's in the tournament now, but they need a real signature win. It's just that simple. You also look at that over the last 6 games at home against ranked opponents. Alabama's covered 6 in a row over the last 2 seasons. This has been a really good home team against really good teams in Alabama. I think there's some question marks. You also look at Will Wade, has some off the court issues he's dealing with. I don't know that they're going to end very well for him. I think Donta Hall's that's going to be a great matchup between Naz Reid. This LSU team, I think what my concern about them is in this game and then long term is, can they defend at a high enough level? Because we know they can score, and we know that they're all about ball, getting into the lane, dribble drives, getting to the foul line. But are they good enough defensively? Because I don't know if I see it at times. This team allows way too much dribble penetration. You look at defensively, I mean, just average really. They're allowing one of the worst 2-point defenses in the SEC. They're allowing opponents to shoot 53% inside the 2-point range. And no offense, but that kind of feeds right into what Alabama wants to do. Don't be quick to lay the points there. This is a tough spot for LSU on the road. There are some things LSU does at a much higher level than Alabama, but as I said, 6 straight covers for Alabama in a home game against ranked SEC opponents. So this is what they do. They win these games. Leave that for what it's worth. If Liberty or Lipscomb don't win their conference tournament, do they have a shot in at large bid? No. Neither of them will get in the tournament if they don't win their conference tournament. Lipscomb had a chance at it, but they ruined it when they lost to Florida Gulf Coast. So, no, they don't have it. And Liberty doesn't either. They're a one-bid league, the Atlantic Sun. All depends if Bama can shoot well. If they do well, they'll win. I mean, that's any team. I think there's some spots here that maybe people aren't looking into a little bit deep enough. Tremont Waters is a great player, but there's some things there. And again, this is a trappy kind of game. People are looking at this game and saying, "Wow." I mean, I've seen LSU lately. Recency bias is there. They're going to beat Alabama. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure on Alabama or LSU right now. There just is. So that's my opinion on the game. This is a game kind of off the radar, but I'm interested, and it's Fairleigh Dickinson laying 3.5 against Central Connecticut State University. This is a real small game. This is a game that I've kind of pegged yesterday that I liked. This Fairleigh Dickinson team, this is the last game of the season for them. They need this game badly. They need to win. They need to keep pace with St. Francis of PA up in the NEC division. St. Francis is Sacred Heart today. This is an opponent that Fairleigh Dickinson should beat and should beat pretty badly. I had FDU the other night, and they were able to find their way against Mount St. Mary's on the road, a game in which they were down in double digits in. They came back and won. We should see a better effort today. This Fairleigh Dickinson team, number 1 in the Northeastern Conference efficiency-wise, as far as effective field goal. They're really efficient. They're a terrific three-point shooting team. Guys, riddle me this if you didn't know this. Number 1 in the NEC, FDU also 7th in the country in three-point percentage. They're really good from 3. This is a CCSU team. Central Connecticut led by Danielle Marshall. I'm sure many of you know who Danielle Marshall is. He's the coach up at CCSU. It's not been a good season for this group. They're a team that's lost 5 in a row, including losses to Wagner and Mount St. Mary's. They're just not very good. They're not good defensively. They don't really do anything at a high level on the offensive end either. You look at in conference this year, Central Connecticut, 10th in efficiency. And this is a spot where an FDU defense that's not great should be able to play pretty well. I'll lay the 3.5 with FDU here in a game they have to have. Shouldn't have much trouble with Central Connecticut State. This one goes, I believe, at 1 o'clock. Who do I like? I'm talking about who I like. What do you mean, who do I like? Just guys, listen. Just sit back and listen. Okay, I'll give you all the great info you need here. Do I think Zion's hanging it up for the season, or will he play again? I think he's going to play again. Ohio State, Purdue. This is a game that I think Purdue's going to have a lot of success in. For anyone that doesn't know, Caleb Wesson out for today against Purdue. And listen, you're probably saying to yourself, well, I don't really think Ohio State would even win or cover with him in the lineup. Yeah, that's pretty much my thought. Losing Caleb Wesson's brutal. Caleb Wesson's used in about 30% of the possessions that Ohio State has. I mean, he's very involved. He's very important to what they do. You look at statistic-wise, Caleb Wesson leads them in scoring at 15 a game. He leads them in rebounding at almost 7 a game. And he leads them in blocks. He's their best player. It's kind of like Kerwin Roach for Texas. These teams are very limited offensively as it is. You pull a guy off the team that's used like in 30% of their possessions and the offense that they're running, what this is going to do is this is going to hurt a guy like C.J. Jackson, Luther Muhammad, those guys, because they depend on Wesson to rebound, to create in the half court, to set picks, to ball screen them. I mean, this is real important. You know, you can't just losing a guy and saying, oh, well, he's 15 points a game. Yeah, right. But how's it going to affect everyone else too? That's the big question as well. And I don't think it's going to affect them very well. I mean, this is a team, guys, that only scores 70 points a game. You take 15 and 7 out of the lineup. I mean, now you're a team that rebounds very poorly, and you're a team that only scores about 57 points a game without him. He's a good free throw shooter. He shoots the 3 at 36%. He's your best field goal percentage player. Let me say that again. He's their best field goal percentage player that plays on a regular basis, shooting over 51%. And what's that going to do for Purdue? Well, it's going to do a lot, because now Carson Edwards is going to be more effective at getting into the lane, because you're going to have a backup that's not as adept at guarding him in the lane. You're going to struggle with Harms and Travion Jackson. I mean, it's just a mess. It really is. It's a bad spot if you're Ohio State. And look, let's be real, guys. I mean, Ohio State's really not been good as it is. Or not Travion Jackson. That's the kid from Wisconsin. Travion Williams. My apologies. Those guys are going to have a lot of success. And this isn't a good Ohio State team as it is. I mean, they've been really inconsistent in this conference. This is Purdue at home. Purdue's already beat them with Wesson by 13. But I'll tell you where I'd go here. Instead of a first or a full game, I'd maybe look at a first half here. Really hit Ohio State when they're down. You know, they're probably pretty skitsy early on. Who knows how they react to it? Seems like a pretty good spot. On average this year, this Purdue team's up 8.5 points a game at home. Probably pretty good spot for them here. See what a first half line in this game is. Purdue first half is, I mean, you got them at minus 12, so probably like minus 7 first half. Looks like they're minus 6.5. There you go. That's good. I like both here, but I think maybe you hit Ohio State in the mouth early in West Lafayette if you're Purdue. 6.5 looks pretty good in the first half. Eson, what's happening? Trenton Claxton, welcome in. Norwich City just scored. Awesome. If you tailed, that's a good spot. What does my sweatshirt say? It's Pat Stakes. Matthew Pashyunk in South Philadelphia. Orlando checking in. First time. How about that? There you go. Growing the audience. Welcome in, Orlando. Thanks for watching. Funny B, what's up? B Smith reading, or whatever your name is, says, you talked about it but never said the team you're leaning. You skipped that game. Well, that was probably because they had a reason for that. I don't think it's an easy game for LSU. I'm just saying to be careful with it. It wouldn't be a game that I'd be betting on and jumping on LSU. If I had to play it, gun to my head, I would take Alabama. If I have to get particular with everything. Jeff Joseph, how about that? Another new listener. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, pal. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a show. What's up, Niles? KD? Pablo? Let's get after it. Jeff Crockett? Let's keep it moving here. This is an interesting game. VCU and Richmond. Okay, we've been no stranger to VCU on this show and with our premium selections. By the way, I have a few premiums today. BMOCsports@gmail.com if you're interested in hearing more about that. This VCU team I've been very interested in. I really enjoy what VCU's doing. They've won 9 in a row. 6 have come by double digits in those 9 games. VCU is legitimate. This is a team that I think led by Marcus Evans, I think they can not only make the tournament, but I think they can win a game or two. They really play an interesting brand of basketball. They've been destroying teams in this conference. And with Dayton's loss last night, they're going to win the Atlantic 10. I just think it's that simple. This A-10 is down this year. You look at this game, they're laying 6.5 in this game, right? The concern you have for VCU is they played 3 straight games at home and 4 of their last 5 at home, right? So now they're going to go on the road. But here's the thing about this game. Here's why I don't mind this game. This is a rival, okay? These two teams very close to each other. This isn't, to me, I know it's in Richmond, but there's going to be a great contingent from VCU. This is a game where if you know anything geography-wise, these are two teams very close to each other. It's a big-time rivalry in Richmond. And this game is going to go a long way in deciding whether VCU wins this conference. 2 of the last 3 are on the road. They've won 9 in a row, guys. 6 have come by double digits. And you're saying to me, okay, big man, that's great. Tell me why VCU is going to beat Richmond, why they're going to be successful. I'll tell you why. Richmond stinks on defense. They're 14th in defensive efficiency in the Atlantic 10. Okay? And this is a conference with, really bad teams like Fordham, and LaSalle and groups like that. UMass. I mean, there's some good defensive teams, but there's also some real bad teams in this conference. And they're the worst defensive team. Their 2-point defense is shocking. Richmond's 2-point defense is fucking bad. 306th in the country in 2-point defense, 12th in the conference. This is a bad defensive team. It's that simple. VCU, one of the better teams as far as 2-point offense, getting to the line. They're just an effective team. You like backing them. I've had a lot of success with Virginia Commonwealth, and I know you guys have as well if you followed the show. They've been involved in a couple of my premium plays recently. And what I love most about VCU is I'm a stickler, and I love defense. If you play defense, I like you. Because I just don't want you to just score the ball. I want you to get at a team on defense. I want you to pound the floor and say, look, fucks, score against us. VCU is really good on defense. They lead in every category defensively in this conference. You look at the country, 4th in defensive efficiency. 4th, guys. Let me say that again. They're 4th in the league or in the country in defensive efficiency. Yeah, with Virginia and Texas Tech and all those teams. Yeah, Richmond or VCU against Richmond. This is a good spot. This Richmond offense is actually pretty good. I think that's one of the reasons they've kind of found ways to hang in games. They're a pretty good offense. but this is a really good defense. Could take some time for VCU to get going, obviously being on the road here. But you look at step-up games for VC for Richmond this year. Got crushed by Dayton, got crushed by Davidson, got crushed by Bonaventure. They already lost to VCU by 21. Now you're telling me a few miles away they're going to hang in this game under double digits? Give me a break. VCU destroyed them in the first game. I don't really see any reason to think that's going to be different here. I like VCU. They're going to be a free play of the day. I'm going to get to a few others as well, but this is going to be my first. I like VCU. This team's been real good to me, and I'm going to get back to them here again. Dan Kelly, it's the James River Derby. There you go. See, it's a rivalry. It's a Richmond City rivalry. What is better, Pat's or Geno's? Definitely Pat's. I don't go to Geno's. Pat's is a great spot because it's open 24 hours. Is it the best cheesesteak in the city? No, not close. But I know people that work there. I got the sweatshirt. They're great people, good people. And if you want a touristy place, it's for you. It's a great place to go because it's open 24 hours. Most places in the city aren't. So if you're drunk at 3 a.m, you can go to Pat's and get a steak. And they never close. Let's keep it moving here. Johnny Kotson says Citadel rolls today. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think they will beat VMI. I think they're the better team there. Anytime you can get and fade VMI in a pick'em game, I'm interested. But I have no interest in betting on Citadel because they're really bad on defense, really bad. This is an interesting one, 623, 624, Northern Kentucky at Wisconsin Green Bay. Northern Kentucky is in a fight right now with Wright State. And here's where I'm interested here if I'm Northern Kentucky. Wright State lost the other night in that game they had against I'm trying to remember who it was. I forget who they played, but they lost. And it was a big spot for Northern Kentucky because with that loss, it basically meant that they were tied with Wright State. Wright State lost to a Green Bay, by the way, the team that Northern Kentucky is playing today. Wright State has Milwaukee today, okay? It's probably safe to say they'll win that game. Milwaukee's not good. Wright State should win. Northern Kentucky needs this game. This is the last game of the season in the horizon. Conference tournament gets going soon. So these two teams are 12-5 going into the final day. You're probably saying to me, okay, well, tell me why, big man. Because Northern Kentucky is 6-7 on the road. Right. And possibly going to be without Drew McDonald. But here's what I like about this game. So let's say we get McDonald in there, which we need because he's a good player. This team was still able to win by double digits against Milwaukee the other night. I want to know if McDonald's playing because I think it's important. If he doesn't play, basically what that means is Loudon Love, Green Bay's best player, should have a pretty good game. But who else will step up for Green Bay? I don't know if they have anyone else that could step up. This is a big spot for Northern Kentucky. If he plays, I'd be all in on it. I'd be interested. It's really you doing your due diligence of finding out if he's going to play or not. But this is a spot where you got a lot riding on this game. Bernie checking in. How you doing? Fort Wayne should get it done against North Dakota State. Yeah, I agree. Whatever, man. Listen, guys, sometimes I get stuff wrong. It is what it is. Loudon Love plays for Wright State. Whatever. Either way. So that's even better. No Loudon Love. I always forget he plays for Wright State, not Green Bay. But, yeah, even better. We don't have to worry about him in this game. Go with I kind of like Northern Kentucky in this one. I don't think McDonald plays, judging by the line move. They need a win. I think they go get one today. They got to show they can win without him. Listen, Howie, cut it out with the asking me how old I am. Don't worry how old I am. Worry about games. If you're not going to talk about games, do me a favor, go away. Okay, you're bothering me in this chat because other commenters, their comments might not be showing up because you're taking up space. Listen, if you're not going to talk about games, go away. You've asked me how old I am like 5 or 6 times. It's very odd, actually. Go away, will you? Let's keep it moving here with games. Radford and Campbell. Talk about a big game in the Big South. This one's for all the marbles down in Bowie's Creek. For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, this is the final game of the season, and these two teams, winner take all in this conference as far as the regular season. This is a huge game. And people talk to me all the time about senior day, and they say to me, oh, this team's going to win because it's senior day. Okay, well, senior day is cool. It works in certain spots, but look, for the most part, senior day is kind of overrated. It really doesn't matter in a lot of these games. This is a game, though, I think it's very important in. I think it's huge. You look at a guy like Chris Clemens, who, look, to me is one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen in college basketball. I think he's terrific. I mean, he's just so phenomenal at getting to the hoop, shooting the basketball. I mean, he's one of the great scorers we've seen. And it's going to be sad if we don't see him in the tournament. It's going to suck. This guy's just, he's 5'9". He's not 6'2". He's 5'9". And this is a Radford defense that's taken some lumps at times. They're not particularly fond of defending in half court. I think Clemens will eat that up. Campbell beat him the first time they played, 68-67. So, you find a way to win here if you're Campbell. You win this conference, and you host conference tournament games. Clemens in the first game, 39 of the 68 Campbell points. That's a game. 8 for 15 from 3. Radford couldn't guard him. And what sucked for Radford is they actually played pretty well offensively, and they still lost. I think senior day, it's huge here. I think in this spot, it's a big, big one. I mean, Chris Clemens is the greatest thing and the greatest thing Campbell basketball will ever see. I mean, it's perfect. It's a great spot. If I had to play this, I would take Campbell. What's up, Chris G? Thanks for watching. Good morning. Love you, big man. My liberal cap. Let's not bring politics into it. Who cares? Who cares about what I like? So you're watching me. Let's just watch me for what I'm doing. Okay? Don't. Let's not bring politics into it. What else do we have here? Do I think regular season champs should get auto bids? Yes. But that would take away the conference tournament. So I don't know. I used to kind of not like conference tournaments because I think they're kind of useless. But again, in these kind of conferences, they're important. Let's keep it moving here. Clemson, UNC. UNC's won 11-12, right? And now they're 5-point favorites here, and you're saying to yourself, "Wow, come on, UNC is going to beat Clemson." I don't disagree with you. This is a real question spot where you say to yourself, "You know what? I'm just going to bet the team that I love. They're killing it. They're playing well." Little John's an interesting place to play. The good thing about this game is it's 6 o'clock p.m. It's not noon. If this was a noon game, I would be a little bit more concerned, but it's not. It's a 6 o'clock game. I've talked about I can't stand Brad Brunell. I think he's horrible. This is an interesting game. I'm interested to see where this line goes all day, because this is a game where both these teams, Clemson has to have this game. I mean, they need a game like this. This is one of those games where they kind of just, like Miami did a couple weeks ago against UNC, where they just kind of grind. Clemson's a good defensive team. I'll give them for what it's worth. And they can match the height that UNC has. They can play with UNC. I don't know about this one. I'll be interested to see where this goes. If I get 6, I might have some interest in Clemson. I really would. Even if this line just stays at 5, you got to wonder what's going on here. Tony Morris checking in. Thanks for watching, Tony. Glad you enjoy the show. KD, you ask me that every day. She's good. She's very good. She's working, doing her thing. Thanks for asking. You ask that every day. What happened to you on Right Wager? Nothing happened. I left the website. I'm on my own. I wish those guys the best and hope they do well. But that's really all it is. I left on my own. Right Wager is something that I started with Donnie Rightside, and I decided a few weeks ago that I was going to move to doing my own thing. I'm just meant to be on my own, just that simple, and I did that. Big man, you should get a Bitcoin address on the wall so people can send donations. Listen, that's not necessary. If you guys want my premium plays, you can contact me, or if you want to donate, listen, do me a favor, support the sponsors that we have, or do something like that. Buying picks that I sell, that's kind of a way to thank me for the work that I do. Those people get my best plays, and they're basically paying for all the work that I do. So that's a great way to do it. What else do we have here? Michigan State. I don't have much in that game. I don't really know what to make of Indiana right now. Thanks, Johnny Roast Beef. Thanks for watching. Senior teams mean a lot. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Paco. Appreciate it. TCU, Texas Tech. Listen, I'm saying it again. I'm really not looking to jump in front of Texas Tech. And look, TCU is going to try to give them their best shot today. If I can lay 3.5, I'm interested. Anything above that, I don't have interest in. If I can get a 3.5, I'd lay 3.5. But that's really all I do. I wouldn't be laying anything above 3.5. Texas Tech is just so focused to me right now. I mean, they're playing some great basketball. I know they slipped up the other night, but again, we talked about it. It's really hard to even beat a team that shoots that well, let alone win. And they found a way to win. I think if you're Chris Beard, I think you're pretty happy with that. I mean, Oklahoma State gave them a great effort. I just don't think TCU is going to really do much to bother Texas Tech. They don't really defend in the half court at a high level. They don't really guard without fouling. I mean, they're not really that effective. And I know TCU's at home, and I know they're going to have a good atmosphere there today. And this is kind of an in-state rival and everything, but I'm not really looking to step in front of Tech right now. They're playing really good. If you're looking at that game the other night and saying, well, they barely beat Oklahoma State, look, that's a lot better win than you think, okay? I mean, it's hard to beat a team that shoots that well. I like Texas Tech here. Houston and UCF. We'll get to that game. Do you fade Troy today? I don't know. I mean, Texas Arlington's not very good, so I don't really have much in on that one today. I never heard you say how much is a month. Listen, email me if you have any questions. bmocsports@gmail.com. Nick Dial saying that he thinks Houston will pull away. Well, of course you think that. You're related to Kelvin Sampson. So you seem to have clouded judgment on Houston, maybe. I don't know. Let's get into that game here. Houston, Central Florida. Many people know I've been on Central Florida a lot this year. I was on them the other night against South Florida. They got the job done. I was on them against Cincinnati. They got the job done. I backed them a lot this year. And if I'm not going to – they're not premium play for me today, but I'm going to back them here again against Houston. I know that the common theme is – I always love this one. This is a great one for me. People come to me and they say, but big man, Houston's got game day at home. Who cares? What does that mean? What does that matter? First of all, game day's 11 a.m. This game ain't till tonight. Who cares? And even if it was an hour later, what does that mean? It's game day's there. Who cares what game day's there? What does that mean? I'll say it again. What does that mean? Game day's there. If anything, game day being there is a bother. You're doing shit you wouldn't normally do. That's what I hate. That you have to understand. Game day being there is not good for you. It's good for the university, but it's not good for your team. You know why it's not good for your team? Because you have to do stuff you wouldn't normally do. And you can make the argument, well, big men, both those teams have to do that. Right, but it's more important to the home team because the home team has more pressure. UCF's using it as, this is great. We're on national TV. We got Maria Taylor's ass walking around. We got, Jay Williams and all those guys walking around. We could try to smash Maria Taylor because she's very flirty in every interview. We got that. Houston's looking at it and saying, well, this is cool and all, but we got a lot of pressure in this game. And let's be honest, people, we can talk about Houston. They're a great defensive team. They're one of the best in the country. But I wonder about them offensively at times. I think their pace just dictates, slow, kind of slowing it down. They're 8th in pace in the league. And right now, UCF's hot. They're playing with fire right now. If not for a really bad call against Cincinnati, who knows if they win that game? I think they could have. What you have right now with UCF is a team right now that has B.J. Taylor playing at a high level. And he's been terrific all year. Aubrey Dawkins is shooting the ball at a high level. Taco Fall's been on fire. And this is one of the reasons I think UCF, if they get into the tournament, I think they're a bad matchup. It's so tough to prepare for Taco Fall. I mean, he is such a behemoth. He is such a phenomenal athlete and player. I mean, it is so tough to guard a player like that. And Fabian White, I think Breon Brady's a little slow for him, I think. He's just a monstrous individual. 7'6" against 6'8", and that's really what you're dealing with here. But what I've liked at UCF is they're getting that fourth scorer, whether it's Dayon Griffin or Frank Burtz or Colin Smith. It's that four scorer, which if they can get a four scorer, they're probably going to be in games, let alone be in games. They're probably going to win games because those top three they have, Dawkins, Fall, and Taylor, are terrific. They're a great three-headed monster. Plus, we talk about Houston's defense. UCF's defense is just as good. They're really good themselves. I think this is a game decided in the 60s. I'll take the points here with UCF. I've been pretty keyed in on them this year. They're really good ATS as an underdog. And, this number's not going – this number's going the other way. I can get 7.5 right now. I'll take it. Here's the interesting part about this game, right? You look at the bets on this game. There's 571 bets on this game. 57% of the tickets are on Houston, but 79% of the money is on UCF. So that's good news. I can get a 7.5 still, bookmaker. I like it. Listen, I hate to say it, but is there anyone that can break a game down like that? Because it doesn't seem like it. I mean, who can break a game down like that? Nobody. What about Texas State today? Yeah, I wouldn't fade away from them right now. They're playing great basketball. South Alabama is better than Troy, but yeah, I think Texas State's worth a look today. Do I ever bet ping pong? No. Don't ask me stupid questions, please. I don't want to get in front of that UCF train. Yeah, me either. Not at all. Should I recommend the under? Sure, but it's not what I'm going to be betting. Nevada, Utah State. I'll get to that game in a little. UMass, that's an interesting game. The UMass has got massive injuries. Curtis Cobb, Luwan Pipkins, Rasheed Holloway, all out. Bad news. UMass stinks. UMass has had some major issues. Duquesne, maybe worth a look there. I consider George Mason. I just don't really have any interest in laying 5.5 or 6 points with St. Louis. I don't see it. I mean, what has St. Louis done to warrant that they should win a game by 6 points? Could they even score 6 points in a game? I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, they will score 6 points, but still, it's kind of crazy. The Nevada game, yeah. I don't. That's a tough one. I mean, it's a toss-up. It really is. If I had to play it, I would take Nevada just because I think they are a better team. I mean, when you're looking at toss-ups like this, you ask yourself, okay, who has more players that can take a game over? Who has more players that can do things and just out athletic another team? And I think it's Nevada. Someone told me this a long time ago. When you have games like this, you just go with the better team. Look, it's a tough atmosphere. Of course it is. But look, Nevada's went deep in a tournament. They played in tough atmospheres, okay? They're an older team, okay? These guys aren't – this isn't a freshman team, from Division II going to play it. This isn't Hoosiers, okay? Stuff like that doesn't happen. It's not really that. I love how people always do that. Oh, this is a great atmosphere. It is. And that's a great way to sell a game. And when you're watching a game, it means a lot. And sometimes there are those cauldrons, where a team has never played in a game like this or something like that. But, I mean, you're going to try to sell me that Nevada's not going to win because they're in Logan? But first of all, let me just say something here. In the first game, okay, they won by, I think 23. Utah State didn't score 50 points in the game. And now you're telling me because the game is in Logan, I gotta change up my way I look at it. And I know the selling point there would be, well, that was January 2nd. It's March 2nd. It was 2 months ago. You're right. But this is a game for Nevada where I think nationally, I think they know that. And I'm sure if I'm Eric Musselman, I would say, listen, guys, I mean, we've had 2 poor efforts in cauldrons. We lost against SDSU and we lost against New Mexico. The national profile right now in Nevada is maybe they're not as good as their record indicates. And I would be in that front of thinking. But I also don't think Utah State is as good as people think. They're good. They're not great. And are they good enough to beat Nevada? I don't think. Someone's talking about Millwall scored. Listen, guys, my advice when you're watching soccer games, just don't watch them. Just check them at the end and see what happened. What's up, Kid Bay Brooklyn? Thanks for joining us. Do I ever bet AAF? I have futures on it. I can't say I've really bet it, no. Thank you, KD. Appreciate that. What do I think about Kentucky, Tennessee? I don't really have much on the game, to be honest. I think without Reed Travis, Kentucky's going to struggle. But if you can out-rebound Tennessee, you'll win. I'm just enjoying watching Tennessee go up in flames for the most part. I mean, it's fun to watch. And if you're Tennessee, look, I guess you could celebrate winning the other night, but, I mean, without Grant Williams, where would Tennessee be? I mean, it's just amazing. Ole Miss played their heart out. Where am I watching the tournament? I'll be in Atlantic City. Gonzaga by 1,000,000? Question mark. No, I actually like St. Mary's in this game. If I had to grab it, I would take St. Mary's. I think I think right now for Mark Few, I think for him it's just about keeping this team together and focused. Because you look at this game from a standpoint of for Gonzaga, it's the last game of the season. Okay, you're probably going to have to play St. Mary's again. Are you going to win this game? Probably. But this game is virtually meaningless. I guess not meaningless. They're the number one team in the country, and they need to maintain that number one ranking. But, I mean, what's your incentive to win by double digits here or blow this team out? I mean, and I'm going to tell you right now, St. Mary's is a tough place to go play. It's still a great, intimate atmosphere. It's still a rivalry. And, listen, Gonzaga knows what they did in the first game. They won 94-46. They won by almost 50 points. St. Mary's remembers that game, okay? I think to use that in this game is kind of a poor way to cap it. And could Gonzaga win again big? Sure. And I'm not really in the business of betting against Gonzaga, and that's kind of one of the reasons why this is just an opinion. But St. Mary's is better than you think. They're a really good defense. They play a really good pace to bother people. And Gonzaga struggled a little bit. I thought Pacific played pretty well against them the other night. Made a lot of threes. Look, if they defend like that tonight, they may lose. The St. Mary's is pretty efficient. St. Mary's is a good rebounding team. I think they could stay in the game that way. I've talked before, the key to staying in games as an underdog is, can you make free throws and can you make threes? And you look at St. Mary's, 74% from the line, 32nd in the country from three. They also don't turn the ball over, and they rebound at a high level. And they're at home. I think if you take St. Mary's, you'll have a chance to cover this game. I mean that. Thank you, Matt Lawrence. Appreciate that. Thank you, Mike. Do I think Baylor can cover the 6 against K-State? Yeah, I do. I think Scott Drew's doing a pretty unbelievable job. And look, I mean, I'm not a big Scott Drew fan. I've talked about him in the past, but I mean, even I can realize that he's been terrific this year. I mean, he has been. I mean, it's been unexplainable how good he's been. I mean, to win the other night the way they did, I mean, that was impressive. Kansas State's won 5 in a row against Baylor. They should do it today, but if you're giving me 5.5, 6 points, I'll take it. I mean, Camus Stokes and Dean Wade are hobbled. Cartier Diarra is still out. Diarra was good in the first game they played, and Stokes had 20. I don't think that's going to happen again today. King McClure played the other night. You should get him at a better minute game tonight. Makai Mason's playing well. Yeah, I like this one. In fact, I was going to get to this one. This is going to be my other free play of the day. Baylor plus the points against K-State. I'm not jumping off this momentum right now. I like Baylor plus 6, and I like VCU minus 6. All right, guys. For the next, 5 or so minutes, I'll just go through some questions here, and then we'll finish up the show. Big man used to be the best when he was giving out free picks. He went tout, and everything went to shit. Okay, well, I mean, I just gave out 56 minutes of free picks, and I'm up on the season of college basketball, and I'm up over 50 units over the last 2 years. So again, it's too bad Chef D's parents didn't decide to swallow it instead of taking it. Too bad. But again, Chief, if you're going to come in and troll, at least make it be true. It's a shame that you come in here with such poor content. I mean, it's not even right. It's not even correct. You got to love people like that. I mean, seriously. I mean, he went tout and everything went to shit. How's that? Because, I mean, I'm looking at a show right now and I have 400 plus people in here watching me, and you're in your living room with fucking sleep in your eyes. You probably haven't brushed your teeth. You're in here busting me? People knew who I am. I don't think they know who you are. You're sitting behind some anonymous fucking account. Why did you leave Right Wager? Because you couldn't give out a winner. No, I left Right Wager because I wanted to be on my own. I'm up, you fucking idiot. What the fuck am I even arguing with you for? How stupid are you? And you know, we're taking away from other good people's games. So why don't you take this, shove it up your fucking ass, and get the hell out of here? How about that? Bye-bye. Go away. You just look like a fucking idiot. Yeah, I'm sure I don't win. That's why 400 plus people are in here right now. Get the hell out of here. Go away. Fucking idiot. What a fool. What an imbecile. UTRGV beating UMKC. Yeah, I mean, they're really good against the spread. And UMKC stinks. I think you're on the money there with that one. Who is that? Franklin. I think you're on the money there. I'm not annoyed. I'm just explaining. I'm passionate. What does Butler have to do to make the dance? I think they have to win the tournament. I don't think they have much chance. If I had to play one over today, what would it be? Yeah, I would go with that one. Thoughts on Wisconsin? Yeah, I don't really like the matchup for Penn State in that one. Do I like Virginia to cover? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be betting against them. Iowa State, Texas. I like Iowa State in that one. Do I ever see value in buying points? No. Stony Brook, Vermont. You know, I got a feeling Stony Brook covers in that game. They were beaten up the first time they played. They were kind of embarrassed, I feel like. It's a big game for Stony Brook. I don't know, though. It's hard to bet against Vermont. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, all of you, for joining us. Appreciate your words and participation, as always. All of you are very integral to the show. We'll finish this up with just thanking all of you for watching and enjoying the show. I'm having a great season in college hoops. Is it as good as last season? No, but it's a successful one so far, and we'll keep kind of building on it. Up about 6 units on the season. Let's keep firing. Let's keep doing it. Look, last year I was up 40 units, 45 units. Not up that this year, but it's a winning season so far, and hopefully that will continue. All of you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. If you're interested, please hit the like button. Support the show. I'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. So make sure you join me for that. We'll go over the card. Wish you all luck. 2 plays of the day, 3 plays of the day. We'll go VCU -6, and we'll go Baylor +6. Have a great night. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games. Bye-bye.